All right. Hey, everyone. I just saw a tweet and I wanted to share it with you. It's a really cool application called Beam, or how the former GitHubbers might know it as Team. So it's like a internal company announcement tool, very lightweight. And yeah, it's built by the PlanetScale team and they just open sourced it. So I want to just like dive in and show you what they've built. So basically we have a very lightweight kind of like announcement tool. Kind of reminds me of the early days of blogging, where it's super crisp and clean. You have just a headline, text, and images, some likes and comments. But let's dive into the repo. So of course it's built with Next.js. They've recently partnered also with, or actually some of the guys from Next.js actually recently built a kind of like a platform starter kit using PlanetScale, Prisma, and Next.js. So this kind of reminds me of the starter kit as well, because obviously they're using PlanetScale as a database. They're using Prisma as the ORM layer and Next.js as kind of like the front end with the serverless functions. They also added Cloudinary here for image uploads. So it's very straightforward. Before we dive in, I would love to like just check out the code. Before that, let's go in. Like how long have they been actually working on this? So I think the first commit was like around 3 months ago. So Jason Long and Bogdan have been mainly the key contributors here. Yeah, it's quite straightforward. They're using NextAuth as well, and for NextAuth they're using they offered kind of like two authentication providers, GitHub, and Okta as well. You know, because it's a company-wide thing, so Okta seems to be the choice of company logins for many organizations. But GitHub, you know, for the startups, if you wanna, you know, spin this up for your team, GitHub is probably your choice. So we have the GitHub provider here, and we have the Okta provider here. We've got a couple of like other. They've also built a Slack integration with webhooks where you can send it to Slack. But yeah, I just wanted to go through quickly and show you how it looks like. So what I'll do is I'll just grab this up here. As per the instructions, you know, just run npm install. Super easy. While this is installing, we can, if you've never created a PlanetScale database, they've linked to the docs here. That's very simple. If you've already have a PlanetScale account, you can just hit create new database, or use obviously the PlanetScale CLI to create a database. I'm going to do it here with the dashboard so it's more visual and everyone else can see it as well. I'll create a database while this is hopefully spinning up, or not. Maybe I forgot to. Okay, I had hit my limit, so I just did a test. Of course, I should start paying for this. That's a nice reminder. But just to show you from scratch how it looks, it's basically spinning up this database. Next up, what we need is, so under the hood, PlanetScale uses a MySQL database, and we need a way to connect to the database. So it says ready to connect to your database. That's kind of what we want. And they have these nice connection strings finally. Well, not finally, they've released it last summer, but before that, they only had a CLI to connect to the database. Now they have also connection strings. These are strings that you use to when connecting to kind of like, your database. Well, I'm showing you this now, but obviously I should not show you this when it's running in production. But in any case, this has compiled, this has installed my packages. I'll just open this up in my VS Code. And yeah, I'll just make it all a bit bigger. I want to copy the example to env. So the examples, I mean, we can just look through. We have kind of like database URL, our auth provider. So we choose either GitHub or Okta. Based on this, it will route to the proper auth provider. Then we add our respective IDs and secrets for the Oauth tokens here, Oauth application. And we set a random string for NextAuth as a secret. And then we can connect also to our Cloudinary. I'm not going to go over the Slack posting, but that's obviously your choice as well. So I have this tool to hide my secrets, which I guess doesn't work. So that's interesting. Hide secrets. Oh, I guess it doesn't think oh, maybe this is not correct. The database URL is a secret. Interesting. Okay, well, then that doesn't work. Oh, I guess this works. That's very strange. So GitHub works. Next up, we want to sort of like create our Prisma schema. And for that, it will basically push the Prisma schema to PlanetScale. And when it's compiled and we have the schema up and running, we can actually have a look what the schema looks like. So we have a role-based system, we have users and admins, we have an account with different sort of like login features, so session state or token, etc. We have sessions, we have the user, we have posts, likes and comments. So like I said, it's very, very minimalistic. It's great. Here's the GitHub provider. I guess that's not so secret. We don't want to use Okta for now. We want to set up a Oauth application. I've got a couple already. I'm just setting this to my application at the moment. We'll copy this callback URL. We can also go into this and see what it does. It's very not spectacular. It's basically an built-in feature from NextAuth, which is amazing that they provide this out of the box. So this entire callback / GitHub is provided by NextAuth. So I've got my application here, and yeah, we want to connect these. They should add like a copy button here. GitHub should. The GitHub ID. We need to generate a secret. I mean, I will delete this application anyway after this. And you need to add a GitHub allowed organization. So an organization that you're part of. This is meant for teams and companies. So it makes sense that you need to be part of an org in order to use this tool. We need a next auth secret. For this, there's like a nice generator from Vercel. It generates a 32 character secret. Very simple. Finally, we want to upload images. So we say true. And let's go to Cloudinary. I mean, if you don't have a Cloudinary account yet, do set it up. I have one already. And it's very nice to basically, store your images, serve them quite quickly. Great alternative to S3, for example. So now this is all up and running, and all we've got to do is basically hit npm run dev. So let's do that. While this is running, I mean, it's Next.js, so it's super quick. We can kind of look into what the index the index is quite boring. I mean, it's using nice queries here. We can open localhost 3000 where our application is served. You can already see kind of like this nice sign in with GitHub. It prompts us to read our application. So we do want to grant the organization or access to the organization that you've specified in your environment variable, otherwise it will not connect. So I'm authorizing myself and I'm logged in. So obviously there's no post yet. They've actually built in a search as well. I can create a new tool, new post called release video about open source project Beam. Of course, it supports emojis as well. Let's say, what do we say here? Beam is an awesome company announcement tool. Go check it out yourself. Of course, this is running locally, so it doesn't make a difference. But what's really cool is, I mean, for one, they have kind of like, they detect URLs automatically. This is all learnings that they had when they used when they built this at GitHub, of course. I mean, this is basically the GitHub markdown editor that you're familiar with on in pull requests and issues. So I'm not surprised. They've even added kind of like dragging and dropping and uploading kind of like images to Cloudinary directly. And that's pretty awesome. So it's really fun. I might just use this actually as my own blogging tool because it's so cool and so minimalist. So you have your profiles here. Can basically anyone in your organization, whatever they shared, you can see that. We can search, of course, also by title and body. So that's pretty awesome. And yeah, that's kind of like the feed of the company. So congrats to the team at PlanetScale. It's really awesome. I super like Beam, and yeah, I can see how this will evolve. More authentication providers. I mean, they've already built NextAuth in there, so we can basically connect with any of the available providers here that have an Oauth application. Then yeah, you could even probably edit the editor to your needs to add kind of like code, or I mean, it does use markdown, so it also obviously supports code snippets. So it's a very nice out of the box blogging tool actually. So I wouldn't be surprised if this gets picked up, and it's definitely not the end for Beam. So congrats for the launch. So glad you made this open source, and yeah, hope everyone else checks it out. In the time that it was pushed, so around 3 hours ago, when I saw it on Sam Lambert's tweet, to now we've got already around 150 stars on GitHub, 4 forks, 4 watches. So there's a lot of room to grow. This will just take off. Cool. See you in the next video.